Today is Monday, January the 14th. In exactly 16 days, the Nintendo Wii Shop will be going offline, forever, as in you'll never be able to access it ever again. It also means you'll never hear this iconic music again, at least on your Nintendo Wii. Back in September of 2017, Nintendo announced, on January 30th, 2019, we plan to close the Wii Shop channel, which has been available on Wii systems since December of 2006. We sincerely thank our loyal customers for their support. If you have Wii points to spend, content you want to re-download, or content you'd like to transfer from a Wii system to a Wii U system, we recommend you do so while the services are still available. What this means is if you've ever purchased games from the Wii Shop, you won't ever be able to re-download them after the Wii Shop has gone offline. And if you haven't already bought the games you want, it's too late. There's no way you can add Wii points, the virtual currency needed to download Wii Shop titles. The reason that Nintendo has made this change has been the push for the eShop, which is the digital distribution service for the Nintendo Switch and 3DS. The theory of digital distribution services is a great one, a streamlined, simple and easy to use way to deliver games and content to your game system. In a recent study in the US alone, from 2009 to 2017, only 21% of all games were sold physical. This illustrates how most consumers are adopting and prefer the ease of the digital format. But in reality, all digital distribution services risk having an end-of-life date. Xbox Live 1.0 and now the Wii Shop are both victims of this, and this will sadly continue. The debate between physical and digital isn't something I'm going to cover in this video, but needless to say, you guys know as a retro gamer, I prefer physical media over everything else, and the closure of the Wii Shop is precisely the reason why. So if we're talking about the Nintendo Wii Shop closure, we have to discuss WiiWare. Now, WiiWare is the digital-only download of games and applications that were available only to the Nintendo Wii, and the only way to download WiiWare games was via the Nintendo Wii Shop. So what this means is, by definition, with the closure of the Nintendo Wii Shop, that means we lose the ability to download WiiWare games. Now, the sad part about all this is that there are many exclusive WiiWare-only games that were never released for any other system other than the Nintendo Wii. But the good news is, hackers once again come to the rescue. With a modded Wii system, you can download and install all the Nintendo Wii Shop and WiiWare games that you want onto your Nintendo Wii. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how that's done, and see how we can play WiiWare games in 2019 beyond the January 30th closure of the Nintendo Wii Shop. I do want to be clear that this video is about preserving WiiWare. These games are no longer available, and with quite a few exclusive WiiWare games that never made it to any other system, this is quite simply the only way that you'll be able to play these games on your Nintendo Wii. So first things first, this method requires you to mod your Nintendo Wii, and that's precisely what we're going to do. Fortunately, modding the Wii is very easy to do and requires no hardware modifications at all. You'll need your Nintendo Wii and an SD card. Anything that's 2GB or higher should work. For reference, I'm using a 32GB card. You'll also want to make sure that you're running the latest 4.3 firmware. If you are not, it's perfectly safe to go ahead and do so. You will need to be connected to the internet for this to work, so make sure that's all set up before you proceed. Now, the next thing you want to do is go into your console information and make a note of the MAC address of your Nintendo Wii. Now let's move over to a PC and insert the SD card into the card reader. The SD card that we are going to use needs to be formatted as FAT32. Anything lower than 4GB, this isn't an issue, but with higher capacity cards like this 32GB one that I'm using, the easiest way to format as FAT32 is to use a Windows tool called GUI Format. It has one job: to format a drive as FAT32. So use that and select your SD card and quick format. Now you're all set. Open up a web browser and type in the following: please.hackme.com into the address bar. Now enter the MAC address from your Wii that you made a note of earlier. then select the capture, then click on Cut the Red Wire. This will download a zip file automatically to your downloads folder. And what we want to do now is open up the zip file and extract the contents onto the root of the SD card. Once this step is complete, we will have what we need to install Homebrew on our Wii, but we won't be able to install WiiWare files for now, so keep the SD card inserted into the PC and we are going to download some additional files which I will explain what they are used for. Because we no longer have access to the Wii Shop, we need to download an application that manages the installation of the WiiWare files for us. This tool is called Multi-Mod Manager. I will leave a link in the description below. Download it and extract the contents to the root folder of the SD card. The next tool we need is called D2X CIOS Installer. Without getting too technical, a CIOS is a custom piece of software that's required to install unofficial content, and it's also a prerequisite for installing WiiWare. So just like Multi-Mod Manager, download it from the link in the description and extract the contents to the root of the SD card. Because we are dealing with Homebrew and files that are downloaded from the internet and we are writing to parts of the boot process, it's important that we do not brick the Wii console. And that's where the last application known as Preloader comes into it. Download it from the link below and, you know the drill by now, extract it to the root of the SD card. Now of course, the final thing we need are WiiWare games. These are known as WADs and they have the file extension .wad. Now I can't legally tell you where to download these files from, but if you do a simple Google search, you can find them pretty easily. Now what you want to do is create a folder on the root of the SD card called WADs, then place all the WiiWare games that you're going to install onto your Nintendo Wii here. Now once you have everything, remove the SD card from your computer and insert it into the Wii. Now with the SD card installed into the Wii, select the mail icon on the bottom right. Go back a few days or so and you should see a red envelope with a bomb on it. Go ahead and click on it. Now if you don't see the red envelope, go back and forward a few times until it appears. And if it still doesn't appear, make sure that your system clock is updated, and failing that, try another SD card as there are some brands that are not compatible. Now after a minute or so, you will be in the Hack Me installer. From here, press the continue button and then go ahead and install the Homebrew channel. Once that's complete, install Boot Me as iOS and follow the on-screen instructions. Once Boot Me has completed installing, exiting out of the Hack Me installer will dump you directly into the Homebrew launcher. Now when we launch the Homebrew channel, we will see the 3 separate applications that we downloaded previously and extracted onto the SD card. The first one we need to run is Preloader. This is pretty straightforward. Follow the on-screen instructions and install it. Exit out of the Preloader and now load up the D2X CIOS installer. When it's loaded, press any button to continue. Now we're going to install a CIOS into slot 249 and slot 250. For slot 249, select V10 beta 53. For the base, select 56. For the slot, we want 249. And for the revision, select 65535. Now press A to continue, and in the slot map you will see that 249 is flashing. Press A to install the CIOS into slot 59. This step downloads files from the internet and may take a minute or two. For this video, I've sped it up. Once completed, you will see slot 249 is flashing green, which means we are done with this step. Now press A to continue. We need to repeat the same steps to install CIOS into slot 250, but this time we select V10 beta 52 for the CIOS. For the base, we select 57. For the slot, it's 250, and the revision is 65535. Press A to continue, and now slot 250 will be flashing. Press A again to install and wait for the process to finish, and once everything is done, press B to exit the application. Now we are finally ready to install our WiiWare games onto our Nintendo Wii. So here comes the fun part, installing our WiiWare. Load up Multi-Mod Manager, and the first thing we want to do is select iOS Manager, then move the cursor over to 249 and press the home button. You will now note that CIOS 249 is currently loaded. Press B to go back into the main menu. Now select WAD Manager. Navigate into the WADs folder that we created earlier, and it will find the WiiWare title that we downloaded and copied to the SD card. Now press A to install the WiiWare game. The DVD tray will flash blue to indicate the installation. When it's complete, quit out of the Multi-Mod Manager or install any other WiiWare WADs that you may have. Now back into the main Wii menu, you will see that the new game has been installed. Launch it as you normally would and start playing. From this point forward, you only need to use Multi-Mod Manager to install your games. So we've set up and modded our Nintendo Wii system and it's all set to go. We've installed a couple of sample WAD files from the Nintendo Wii Shop and everything works well. So now let's go ahead and take a look at some of my favorite exclusive only WiiWare games that were never available for any other system that I think you should be checking out. Konami and developer M2 worked on 3 exclusive to WiiWare games known as the REBIRTH series. CONTRA REBIRTH is probably the best of the series. It has 5 stages, along with 2-player simultaneous co-op, and it was nominated for Game of the Year by Nintendo Power in 2010. Castlevania The Adventure Rebirth is based on the Game Boy Castlevania The Adventure title, but it's not a direct remake. It has 6 stages to play through, as well as sub-weapons that weren't in the original Game Boy release. The game is considered one of the better Castlevania games and worth checking out if you are a fan of the series. Gradius Rebirth rounds out the Rebirth games. It's not an all-new Gradius game by any means, as it contains levels from many of the older games, but with that classic Gradius gameplay intact, it retains all the awesome mechanics and that just one more try, shoot 'em up addictive gameplay feeling that makes the series so beloved. EXCITEBIKE World Rally is an exclusive WiiWare game and is a love letter to the original game on the NES. Developed in 2009 by Monster Games, its 2.5D gameplay and feel of the original makes it very easy to drop in and start playing. It also makes very good use of the Nintendo Wii motion controls to really enhance the gameplay. The game also includes online multiplayer, which sadly is no longer available. Ever wanted to be one of the UFOs in Space Invaders and get revenge on the Earthlings? Well, you can in Space Invaders Get Even. Released exclusive to WiiWare in 2008 by Taito and Square Enix, this game was originally a $5 throwaway title when it was released. Since then, it's garnered somewhat of a cult following and worth checking out in 2019 if you haven't already. Then there's Doc Lewis's Punch-Out! Released before Punch-Out! On the Wii, it was only available if you had Club Nintendo membership and Platinum status. With 3 modes, warm-up, sparring and training, there's only a few hours of gameplay here. But because the game plays like the full-priced Wii version, this may be a suitable alternative rather than trying to find your original Punch-Out! Disc and playing it all over again. WiiWare is home to many great puzzle games. My pick of the bunch is art style Light TRAX. On the surface, it may seem like a very simple racing game where your light beam needs to beat the others to the finish line. It's not always about speed. There are many techniques and strategies needed in the game to get in front of your opponents. This game is brilliant, and I can't get enough of the amazing soundtrack too. There's so many great WiiWare exclusive games that I couldn't possibly cover them all here, but I do want to hear what some of your favourites are in the comments below. With the Nintendo Wii Shop literally days from shutting down, now might be a good time to dust off that Nintendo Wii, get it modded, install and play many awesome Nintendo WiiWare games. You won't be disappointed. Well guys, so let me know what you thought about this video in the comments below. Obviously the Nintendo Wii Shop is going offline and it is going to be a sad day on June the 30th once it's disappeared. But as we've seen, there are ways to install and run WiiWare games in 2019 and beyond. And the other thing that I didn't touch on in this video is that you can play these games using Dolphin. So with your Nvidia Shield TV or your PC or your Android device that is capable of running Dolphin, you can still load up these WiiWare games on Dolphin and play them that way. Well, okay guys, we're going to leave it here for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye for now.